Hey everybody, welcome to the SMA Journey 51 vlog. Okay, in today's video, I'm going to answer some questions that were given to me by my subscribers and my followers. They either sent me an email or they sent me a note below video number 127, the one that I did last week, and I want to address each one of these questions. We're also going to be recapping some of the information that we spoke about last week, because I've got some more information that I'm not sure if I shared with you or not. So after we recap the two ongoing trials that AveXis has for their AveXis 101 treatment, we're also going to be looking at three upcoming trials that they're going to be doing either at the middle part of this year or first quarter of 2019. So take a look at the PowerPoint presentation that I did for you, and afterwards I'll come back and I'll give you a few final thoughts. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do in my PowerPoint presentation is answer a couple of questions that were sent to me by my subscribers and followers, either to my email or underneath video number 127, the one that I did last week. The first question comes from my email, and it goes on to read, are you still going to discuss Biogen and what they're doing, or are you only going to focus on other pharmaceuticals and their upcoming treatments? My response to this question is that in video number 127, the one that I did last week, I said that I am in no way going to abandon Biogen. Biogen was the very first company to give us an approved treatment for SMA. I will continue my relationship with my Biogen rep and my family access manager. Now, as a side note, please do not mistake my need to research other pharmaceuticals and their upcoming treatments with anything negative. My channel, when I started it earlier last year, was created and intended to keep us all informed on current and future treatments for those of us with spinal muscular atrophy. Spreading the word about SMA and keeping us all current on treatment options, along with educating people who just want to know a little bit more about SMA, is the reason why I started my YouTube channel. The next question comes from my YouTube channel, and it goes on to read, my neurologist told me about AveXis 101. I don't remember if this is exactly what he said, but he told me that if I'm still not seeing any improvements with Spinraza, which he finished all of his loading doses in December of last year, he states that he should probably not continue using it because AveXis 101 sounds really promising and is only a one-time procedure. He also states that it sounds like that this is going to be Biogen's biggest competitor, and he also stated that it sounded really interesting. Now, before I answer this question, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to give any medical advice on my YouTube channel. But I will tell you how I feel personally about what this user is going through, and while he's thinking about should he stop taking the Spinraza treatments. Now again, these are my opinions, and my opinions only. I would think about the following before you stop taking Spinraza. Number one, if you're not getting any stronger while on Spinraza, ask yourself this one question. Are you getting any worse? Seriously consider that question. Number two, if you're not getting worse, Spinraza could be leveling you off to where you probably won't decline any further. Number three, currently, AveXis 101 is for SMA types 1 and 2 only, and you must be a certain age. It may be a year or longer before it's ready for those of us with SMA types 3 and 4. Number 4, do not, under any circumstance, let your doctor convince you that AveXis 101 is going to be a miracle treatment. Remember, it's still in the testing and developmental stages. Do not jump the gun. Take your time. Number 5, AveXis 101 is currently a one-time IV infusion for SMA type 1 and a one-time IT injection or an intrathecal injection for SMA type 2. But that doesn't mean that by the time it gets to us, those of us who have SMA types 3 and 4, it may require multiple doses at that time. We'll know more probably by the end of 2018 or the first quarter of 2019. Now, the way that I feel personally about this, or what I would be asking myself, is I finished my loading doses earlier last year, and I'm scheduled to begin my maintenance doses this year. My arms may not be getting any stronger, but my core strength is definitely improving, especially with my physical therapy. So why would I stop taking Spinraza just to wait another year, year and a half, or maybe even 2 years before the AveXis 101 treatment from AveXis goes all the way through the FDA approval process? Me personally, I'm going to continue taking Spinraza, but I think for you, I think Spinraza is probably doing you more good than you think. The next question comes from my YouTube channel. Do you know how the 15 children undergoing treatment in phase 2 of the AveXis trials are doing? My response is that I haven't checked, but they rarely disclose results of studies. I heard through the grapevine that the results so far have been promising, but consider this as hearsay until AveXis publishes the actual results. I'll call AveXis to see if they'll give me any feedback. So I did call AveXis and I spoke to one of their reps, and they told me just about what I'm telling you. They're not allowed to give any statistical data with regards to these ongoing trials until the AveXis 101 passes through the FDA approval process. So until that time, they're not going to give us any data that we can use. But I'll continue my relationship with the AveXis rep, and I'll call them probably once or twice a month, maybe once or twice every couple of months, just to see if they have any updates. And as soon as they give me an update, I'll make sure that I'll let you know as well. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is to kind of recap some of the ongoing clinical trials that we spoke about last week. All of this information that I'm going to be giving you now was copied verbatim from the AveXis press release that they gave me the other day. And the link to this press release can be found in the description of the video. The first one that we talked about last week is the pivotal trial of AveXis 101 in SMA type 1, known as STRIVE. And I'm not sure if I gave you this information or not, but they currently have or will have a minimum of 15 patients with SMA type 1 who were less than 6 months of age at the time of gene therapy. Then the second ongoing clinical trial that we spoke about last week was the phase 1 trial of AveXis 101 in SMA type 2, known as STRONG. And in this one, they are going to, or they have, enrolled 27 infants and children who are symptomatic with a genetic diagnosis consistent with SMA. So these are the two ongoing trials that we spoke about last week. Now, what I want to do is to discuss these planned trials that AveXis has for AveXis 101. And these 3 planned trials are going to happen either at the middle of this year or the first part of 2019. And again, all this information was copied verbatim from the AveXis press release. The first one is the pivotal trial of AveXis 101 in SMA type 1 in Europe. And this is going to be known as STRIVE EU, and EU stands for European Union. The planned trial is expected to reflect a single-arm design using natural history of the disease as a comparator, and is expected to enroll approximately 30 patients with SMA type 1 who are less than 6 months of age at the time of gene therapy. The trial is designed to evaluate safety and efficacy of a one-time IV dose of AveXis 101, including achievement of motor milestones, specifically the patient's ability to sit unassisted, as well as an efficacy measure defined by the time from birth to an event, which is defined as death or requiring at least 16 hours per day of ventilation support for breathing for greater than 2 weeks in the absence of an acute reversible illness, or what they call perioperatively. Now, I didn't know what this term meant, so I went out to Wikipedia. And perioperatively stands for that this is the time period describing the duration of the patient's surgical procedure, and this commonly includes ward admission, anesthesia, surgery, and recovery. Perioperative generally refers to the 3 phases of surgery: preoperative, intraoperative, and postoperative. The second planned trial that AveXis has for AveXis 101 is going to be known as the pre-symptomatic SMA types 1, 2, and 3, and they're going to call this one SPRINT. The planned multinational trial is expected to enroll approximately 44 patients with 2, 3, and 4 copies of the SMN2 gene who are less than 6 weeks of age and pre-symptomatic at the time of gene therapy. The trial is designed to evaluate appropriate clinical endpoints, including developmental milestones, survival, bulbar function, and safety of a one-time IV infusion of AveXis 101. AveXis expects to initiate the trial in the first half of 2018 and will provide more design details at the time of initiation. Okay, and the final planned trial, number 3, is the pediatric all-comers with SMA types 1, 2, and 3, and they're going to call this one REACH. The planned multinational trial is expected to enroll approximately 50 patients between approximately 6 months and 18 years of age who do not qualify for other AveXis 101 trials at the time of gene therapy. The trial is designed to evaluate a one-time IT dose or intrathecal dose of AveXis 101. AveXis expects to initiate the trial in late fourth quarter 2018 or early 2019, and they will provide more trial design details at the time of initiation. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information to try to absorb all at once, and I want to make it as easy as I can for you to get the information that you need. So what I did was out on my website, which is www.smajourney51.com. If you go to my website, at the top, you'll see a link or a tab that says Pharmaceutical Companies, and this is a drop-down menu. If you click on Pharmaceutical Companies, you'll see an option for AveXis Info, and if you click on it, you'll see all the information that I gave you within the PowerPoint presentation itself. And what I'm going to do is, as I do more and more pharmaceutical companies in the future, I'll make sure that I add them to this drop-down menu. That way, all of the information will be located in one central location. So I hope this helps. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation and the information that I gave you. If you did, don't forget, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. God bless you. And until next time, bye-bye.